Hello, yes. I am C. Lakshmi, TGT Social Studies from Jangamed, part of Material Research and Development team, here today to give my presentation. So, before we start our today's class, I'd like you all to do one activity. Ready? Please be seated wherever you are, but try to sit straight. Please put your back straight. Then slowly close your eyes. Now go back into the time. It is around 1950 now, so nearly 70 years ago. Your father is working on a farm under hot sun. You are with your father looking at him. You came from home all the way by walk, and after the farm work you also went back home with your father by walk. Your mother was struggling with traditional stove where bricks were kept and firewood was used for flame. She was getting cough continuously. You want to help your mother, so you were sitting near a hand grinder. You were trying to grind the dal for idli. It took nearly 1 hour and you had to put all your energy and effort into that to grind. There were no machines around you at all, and letter was the only communication from your relatives or friends. So this was the situation. There were no machines at all around you. Now slowly please open your eyes and come back to the normal situation. Take long breath if necessary. So, dear children, how did you feel? Was it painful a bit to see your mother like that, struggling, to see your father working hard in fields? But dear children, it was the truth. There were no machines around 70-80 years ago, but today the situation is different. So our today's topic is absolutely in relevance to this activity, that is about industries in India. Industrial revolution and industries in India is our today's topic. So please look at the slide now. What are all these? These are all the machines that changed our lives. The first picture is mobile, then computer, then smart TV. These three have become a part of our life, isn't it? We can't imagine one day without any of these. And in the below row you can see the washing machine. Washing clothes was back-breaking work long period ago, but now it is done with the fingertips. Just you press the button, the clothes are washed. And the next picture is air conditioner, which has been recently coming into the list of necessities from luxuries, particularly in urban areas. Without AC, people don't want to stay at homes now. Even in offices we see big centralized air conditioners. And the last picture is wet grinder. So it took 1 hour for you in the visualization activity to grind the dal, but it takes only minutes to grind the same in this machine. So machines made our lives easier, isn't it? So what are all these? These are all boon of industrialization, a gift for all of us, for all the mankind. It is a gift given by industrialization. Let's now understand what an industry is. What does the word industry mean actually? Industry is an economic activity in either goods are produced or minerals are extracted or services are provided. Look at the pictures here again. The first picture speaks about the manufacturing of cars. So something is being manufactured here, and second picture is showing about the extraction of mineral. The third one is speaking about the different types of networks that help us in communication and all. So I repeat, industry is an economic activity in which goods are produced or minerals are extracted or services are provided. So what is the story of this industrialization? I am sure you all would like to know where it originated, what is its story. The story dates back to 14th century. And it is in Europe. So what happened there? In Europe in 14th century, trade began to expand to other continents. So there were trade relations between Europe, Africa, Asia and American lands. So this trade created lot of scope for supply of the goods, the finished goods. So while speaking about industries, I would like to mention about textile industry because that was the earliest industry established ever. Textile industry was the first ever industry established. So let's listen to its story. So around 14th century, the traders used to go to different places. They used to go to different places to different people to get the cloth manufactured. For example, they took material from suppliers. They took cotton from suppliers. From them, they used to go to spinners for getting the yarn spun. From spinners, they used to go to weavers, the people who used to weave cloth. From them, they used to go to dyers, one who colored the clothes. And from there, traders used to get the things packed and they used to send to other places for sale. So this was all done in different places, and the system was called putting out system. What is the system called? Putting out system. The system in which things are not manufactured in a single place. But gradually traders thought it takes lot of energy, lot of time to move to different places like this, and they thought of bringing them all together under one roof so that they can discuss about their requirements and make the production more efficient. So once they all started coming together, those early factories were called manufactories. The earlier factories were called manufactories. The places where all the people doing different tasks come together and do together, discussing with each other about each other's requirements. So these manufactories refer to the period proto-industrialization. This was the period where industrialization was spurting. After proto-industrialization, slowly machines were invented, and the later period we call it factory system of production. The later system is called factory system of production, which we call today's industries. But this did not happen quickly or easily. It took long time, and great efforts were put in for today's industries to take shape. So the important inventions behind these factories are very interesting. There were very big machines, as you can see on the screen. So they were very big in size, and they were very difficult to handle. Traders were having good demand, right? So they were trying to make more and more cloth so that they can earn more and more money. They started employing people more in number too. They thought if there is some machine which can spin the yarn quickly and easily, we can make more cloth and we can get more money. So their dream came true in the form of spinning jenny, the important invention that changed the phase of industrialization is spinning jenny. Spinning jenny was invented by James Hargreaves but later developed by Richard Arkwright. So you find usually both the names associated with it. Richard Arkwright improvised the model of spinning jenny. So this dream came true. Now they were thinking it takes lot of effort to turn these machines with hands or legs. How great would be if these can be turned on, the machines can turn on themselves. So this dream also came true in the form of invention called steam engine by James Watt. Steam engine helped the machines to turn themselves. The power of steam turned the turbines. So these are the two most important inventions which led to the industrialization. But early factories were not good places to work. There was lot of pain among the workers because the timings were terrific, and even young kids were employed. They were treated very badly. They were beaten, and their needs were not at all taken care of. So gradually, however, child labor was abolished, but it also took long period and long struggle to make it possible. So this is the early story of industrialization. So where did it take place? You can see the pictures of spinning jenny and steam engine here on the screen. And you have a question here, an interesting question: why first in Britain? So as I was telling you, it happened in Europe. Britain takes the credit of leading the whole world in industrialization. Then immediately the question comes to our mind: why only Britain? Why Britain was first in getting industrialized? It's a quite reasonable question. The answers are many. Agricultural revolution took place in Britain. These inventions were done in Britain. Iron ore was available in Britain, and the political stability was there in Britain. In all other countries there was some or the other fights going on, or maybe protests going on. There were cries of many crises were there, but politically there were no crises at all in Britain, and it was the convenient place to for industries to develop. And their naval base was also quite good. They were supreme in their naval power. So these are all some of the reasons why Britain led industrialization. The next question that comes to our mind is: when did it begin in India? Isn't it? We would definitely like to know, when did industry start in India? And the answer again dates back to 15th century. So in India, as we were discussing, the trade was developing among four continents: Europe, America, Africa and Asia. People were searching for sea routes to carry out trade, to take raw materials, to sell finished goods and so many things. So here people travelled on different directions to discover new lands. So our country, our motherland was discovered, the sea route was discovered by Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese traveller, discovered sea route to our country in the year 1498. Of course, he landed in 1499, but the sea route is discovered in 1498. He was a Portuguese traveller. But in 1700, England took a charter from Queen Elizabeth that they would like to have exclusive trade. That means only they should trade with East, not the other countries. So there was already competition among the European countries. This England wants to get benefit, so it has taken a charter, a legal right of trading with Eastern countries. But it did not work. However, there were many competitors already ready here. Who were they? There were people from France. There were people from Portugal. there were people from Netherlands. It is also called Holland, and it is important to know what we call these people. We call France people as French, and Portugal people as Portuguese, and we call Netherlands people as Dutch. The name is different here. So, dear students, please notice. So, these three people were the competitors for England to have trade relations with East, particularly with our country. Why was so heavy competition? Why all these people wanted to take raw material from our motherland? Why were they competing so strongly? There is a reason for it. We have learnt in our last class in agriculture that superior cotton is grown in India. Let's revise it. Cotton is a crop which is better grown in black soils. There are certain conditions needed for growing cotton, the best cotton. Okay, so black soil is the convenient soil. So it needs high temperatures, it needs high rainfall, but it also needs 210 frost-free days. Frost-free means morning you can see dewdrops and all falling, no? So frost is also a type of snow. So these frost-free days, 210 frost-free days are needed. That means high temperature is needed for cotton, for special good cotton to grow. So the quality of cotton in India was superior, and that's the reason all the countries were competing to get the cotton from our motherland. When they came here, they were just carrying cotton from here, not just cotton for that matter. There were other things also we discussed in the earlier class. So what are the things that were traded? Spices, silk, and many other things. But this was given top priority because everywhere there was industrialization. The earliest industries were cotton mills. So gradually they thought, instead of carrying bales of cotton, they can manufacture the cloth here, and they can it will be easy for them to carry to markets of other countries. So first cotton mill was established in Bombay in the year 1854, and by 1900 the number grew to 84. So many mills in and around Bombay were established, cotton mills, and not only in Bombay, even in other cities. So in other cities nearby there were cotton mills established. In the year 1861, as you can see on the slide, the mill was established in Ahmedabad. So these were the early industries established in India. There is one more important industry about which we need to mention surely, and that is first major iron and steel industry. Iron and steel industry is very important because it is necessary to establish any other industry. Machines are all made of iron and steel, right? So it's important to mention here about this particular industry, and that is TISCO, Tata Iron and Steel Company. So even today it's ranking of course second in this iron and steel production. So TISCO was the oldest industry for that matter in our country. It was established in 20th century, in the beginning of 20th century, and the production started in the year 1912. Steel was produced in the year 1912. It's surprising to know that within the span of 7 years, the production was so large because British people wanted more and more iron and steel. There are two important reasons for that. One, expansion of railways was being done during that time. As you know already that either for tracks or for coaches they need lots and lots of iron. And World War I was also going on from 1914 to 1918. There were certain war needs also for British people. So these two are the reasons why TISCO could flourish. There was continuously demand and supply too. By 1919, around 90% of the steel produced by TISCO was purchased by the colonial government. So this is the story of early industrialization in India. These were the early industries: cotton textile industry and iron and steel industry. So for any industry, to establish any industry, what are the requirements? What are the things with which we can establish an industry, or what are the things without which we cannot establish an industry? Those things are called factors of production. What do we call them? Factors of production. There are 4 major factors of production. They are land, labor, capital, and organization. Organization is also sometimes called enterprise. These are the 4 major factors of production. Land is needed to plan for construction, to construct the industry. Labor is of course needed for construction as well as for running the industry. Capital for all, and organization. We need people to manage all these things in a disciplined way to facilitate production. So these are the main 4 factors of production. But to look at an industry, these 4 are not sufficient. There are many other things which are necessary. Let us look at the slide here. What are the other things required? We need water, sometimes for industrial use and also for the people who are residing over there working for the production. We need transport. We need markets. We need markets so that we can send our goods, sell them there and get good money. So we need not spend lots of amount on transporting the things to far off places. If there are nearby markets, it will be good. And labor capital, of course, we have already discussed. And raw material, yes, availability of raw material is the most important thing. So raw material is the base for the production. So if we need to get the raw material from far off places, the expenses will be definitely more. That is why availability of raw material is one of the most important point here. So wherever the raw material is available, in that place if the industry is located, it will be beneficial. And power is needed to run the machinery and also for the general use. And land we have already discussed. Transport, there should be some connecting roadways, or if for big industries we even need rail tracks. So there should be good transport facility available and even communication. So there should be contacts, so either to get the deals, to speak to people about the production, and also for all these things they need communication also. So these are all few things which are very important, which help us to understand about the industrial location. So are there any categories of industries, or they are all one and same? There are categories of industries based on 3 important issues. They are size, ownership, and raw material. Let's see first classification based on size. So industries based on size can be classified into small scale industries and large scale industries. Small scale industries mean the industries in which less capital is involved, less number of people are involved, and the production is also less, minimum. And large scale industries are the industries in which all are more. The land involved is more, the machinery is heavy, capital involved is more, number of people are involved, and the production is also very heavy. The examples can be for small scale industries, maybe toy making, small food processing units, basket weaving, or handicrafts material. As you can see, the handicraft material here made by these bamboo sticks, or we can see bags and different types of showcase items are made of bamboo things, handcrafts, and some toys are also made. So this is the toy of the dry grinder. We were discussing about wet grinder in our visualization activity. This is the toy of dry grinder. In olden days it was like this. So dal was put here and it was grinded like this. So these are some of the examples of small scale industries. And coming to large scale industries, big machinery or maybe railway coaches and all are manufactured. See, of course this is a model, this is a toy, but big coaches and all are manufactured in large scale industries. So I hope you got the difference. Small scale industries are the industries in which the capital is less, number of people involved is also less, and the production is also less. Now let us go to the second categorization, that is based on the ownership, and there are three categories in this. They are private sector, public sector, and cooperative sector. Private sector industries are owned by private people. They are owned by private people and they are run by private people. They don't have anything to do with any other people. If there is loss, they face, and if there is gain also they enjoy. So one known example for private industries for all of you can be this one. Most of you might have seen Priya Pickles. Okay, this is an example for private industry. And public sector industry is the industry in which there is partnership in the ownership with government and normal people, civilians. So there is a sort of partnership between the government and other individuals in public sector. And cooperative sector is the sector where people who produce raw materials, who supply raw materials, or people who work with that together, they own and they run the industry. So that sector is called cooperative sector. So a good example for cooperative sector is again here Amul products. You can see on any of the Amul product it will be written, this is Cooperative Milk Products Union Limited. So if next time when you buy Amul ghee or Amul ice cream or Amul butter, you can see that it is written there, Amul Cooperative. So these are the three types of industries based on ownership. And the last but most important categorization is on the screen. Please look at the screen. The third classification is based on raw materials. There are four types: agro-based industries, mineral-based industries, automobile industries, and information technology industry, IT industry we call it. If the raw material is from agricultural sector, we call it agro-based industry. If the raw material is from minerals, mining and all, we call it mineral-based industry. And if it is manufacturing of vehicles and all, we call it automobile industry. And if it is regarding the providing of services, communication and all, we call it information technology, IT industry. Let's look at them, look at each of them in detail. First, agro-based industry. Though there are many agro-based industries, textile industry is given top priority. Even in this textile industry, there are two important things: cotton and jute. Of course, silk is also there, but cotton and jute are the most important agro-based industries. And textile industry is the only industry which is completely self-reliant. Right from raw material until the finished goods, everything is available within our vicinity. We need not import anything and make something. And regarding jute, I might be sure that all of you might have seen these types of threads at your homes. So this is made of jute. What do we call sutili in Telugu in our mother tongue? So this is made of jute. So many large such ropes are made with jute, and even textiles are also made out of it. So jute, regarding jute, India is the largest producer in the world, largest producer of jute in the world. But this textile industry has a rapid development. There is a negative side too. Negative side of the coin is that it is a blow to handlooms. As we can see many times, Pochampalli weavers or some other people who are already at the disturbed state because of this blooming textile industry. The intricate designs made by hands are now made with machines easily with less effort and less capital. So that's the point here. And the next agro-based industry is sugar industry. So India is the second largest producer of sugar and largest producer of jaggery and khandasari, what we call this white patti ke bella we call in our local language. So jaggery and khandasari are the things for which India is the largest producer, and over 460 sugar mills are located in India, out of which 60% are present in UP and Bihar. So what do you understand by this? As we were discussing about the location of industry, we discussed that raw material is the most important thing which decides the location of the industry. So sugar industry is located mostly in UP and Bihar. That means the raw material is available in plenty there. It is also important to understand that whether the running of industry, the flourishing of industry or closing, if it gets closed down, the reasons are the factors of production or the factors that influence the location, what all we have discussed until now. If all these are good, the industry flourishes. If any of these are in troublesome situations, the industry may be dull in production or sometimes it may be closed down. You might have heard so and so industry is closed down, now the production is not there. So that's the reason. All these factors have their importance in running of the industries. And the third categorization is mineral based industries. So the 5 major mineral based industries are iron and steel industry, chemical industry, aluminum smelting industry, fertilizer industry and cement industry. Let's look in brief at each of them. So first one is iron and steel industry. We have already discussed its importance because this is needed to manufacture all other machinery, isn't it? So it is called basic industry. Steel is used in engineering goods, construction materials, utensils, even defense, making medicines and many other things. So all these sectors have usage of steel. So production and consumption of steel is often referred to as index of country's development. You can understand the importance of steel as it is explained as the index of development. So India produces 32.8 million tons annually and it is given 9th rank in the production of steel all over the world, and its consumption per annum is 32 kg. Coming to the second important is aluminium smelting industry. So this is also called a metallurgical industry, and aluminium has got special qualities which makes it so helpful in using it in many things. It is light in weight, it is resistant to corrosion. Corrosion means getting rusted. It does not get rusted. So it is good conductor of heat and electricity. It is malleable. Malleable is the virtue by which it can be turned into sheets. Aluminium becomes stronger when mixed with other metals, and there are many uses like making aircrafts, wires, utensils and many other things are made out of aluminium, and it is used as substitute for steel, copper, zinc and lead. So many uses of aluminium. If you try to recall the picture of aeroplane, also you can see the big aluminium material. So the third one is cement industry. It is used for construction of buildings, roads, bridges, houses, factories and many other commercial establishments. There are around 128 large units of cement industry and around 332 mini cement industries located in our country. Let us look at 2 more mineral based industries. The next one is fertilizer industry. Nitrogenous fertilizers, phosphatic fertilizers and ammonium phosphates are the major fertilizers produced through fertilizer industry, and complex fertilizers are also made with the help of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. There is an important point here to note that we don't have any potassium or potash reserves in our country, so we import potash from other countries. But complex fertilizers including all three All these three are manufactured in our country. There are around 95 large fertilizer units and around 68 small fertilizer units in our country. The next one is chemical industry. It is the most important one because it contributes 3% of GDP, and we are in 12th place in the world in producing chemicals, and we hold 3rd position in Asia. There are two sectors in this, again two categories: inorganic chemicals and organic chemicals. Inorganic chemicals, we see sulfuric acid, which is used in fertilizers, synthetic fibers, plastics, paints, adhesives, that means gums like Fevicol, and the dye stuffs which are used for coloring. It is the other inorganic chemicals are nitric acid, alkalis, soda ash, caustic soda. Soda ash is also used in making glass, soaps, paper which we write, and all these things. Organic chemicals, we have petrochemicals which are also used in synthetic fibers, synthetic rubber, dye stuffs, plastics, drugs, and pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals means medicines. So these organic chemicals are located near the oil refineries. So this is the story of chemical industry. So these are all the important details about different mineral based industries in our country. Now let's move on to the next one, that is automobile industry. So automobile industry is involves in the manufacturing of different types of vehicles: two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, trucks, buses, and so many things. So there is tremendous growth in automobile industry noted, maybe because of there are foreign direct investments involved, new technologies involved, and there is globalization of the market for getting raw materials for sending finished goods and all, about which we are going to discuss in the next subtopic. So there are around 15 passenger cars and multi-utility vehicles. There are vehicle manufacturing units, and there are 9 commercial vehicle manufacturing units, and 14 two-wheeler and three-wheeler manufacturing units in our country. So these multi-utility vehicles are again heavy vehicles. So all sorts of vehicles are manufactured now in our country. So last one being here is information technology and electronics industry. So from transistor sets to telephones, pagers, televisions, computers, and present day mobiles, laptops, all these things are manufactured, are served, and Bangalore has become electronic capital of our country, and there are around 18 software technology parks from where we get single window services, high speed data facilities are available, and around 1.5 crore people are involved in this IT sector. So many people get employment here in this IT sector. So these are the major things about different industries in India. Let's have a look at them in a map. Here I don't want to mention the names of the places. We will look at the map in a different angle, in a different dimension. As we were discussing, availability of the raw material is the most important factor of establishing an industry. Let us see, the pink circle here stands for cotton textiles. Let's see where they are located. Try to recollect the map of black soils where cotton was grown. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So wherever the black soil tracts were there cotton textile industries are developed. And the second one being iron and steel industry. So iron ore must be available in the plateaus, isn't it? So the Deccan Plateau region, you can see 1, 2, 3, and Chota Nagpur Plateau region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So these are all iron and steel industries. So next one is IT industry, information technology. Naturally it must be present in big cities, particularly in capital cities. So you can see them all over the regions, in northern region, western region, northeast, and southern region. So everywhere you can see these IT industries. And automobiles industry, manufacturing of automobiles. You can see in some regions, again this is also based on minerals, right? So where minerals are available, you can see here and here. So few industries are located near our capital city and all. So this is the structure. You while doing your project, try to locate in the same way and then try to decode them. Write the names of the cities. You will be getting the same work in the project. So try to locate them in this dimension and then mention the names of the cities. It will be easy and meaningful for you to understand as well as to learn. Let us now look at the industries in Telangana. So textiles and apparels, spices, horticulture, vegetables and fruits, and poultry farming are the major agro-based industries. Mines and minerals, Singareni collieries and pharmaceuticals are some of the mineral-based industries. Automobiles and auto components industry are some of the automobile industries. Information technology and tourism are related to IT sector. So these two are also well developed in Telangana. So developed that Hyderabad is sometimes called Cyberabad because of its superiority in IT. And tourism is also well developed with good communication and good facilities provided by the government for the local tourists as well as for the tourists who are coming from outside. So when we speak about industries, it is very, very important for us to speak about the new policy of industries. When we got independence, the situation of industries was different. That means, let me explain you with an example. If I, you or your friends together, we want to start an industry, can we just come together, gather some money and start an industry? No. We need to get prior permission from the government. So earlier, when we got independence in 1950s, 60s and 70s, the rules for all these things were very difficult. The licensing system was very tough, and there were many administrative hurdles which led to even bribery, and new entrepreneurs were not allowed to come. I wish to tell one important thing here. We often see this word, but it is pronounced as entrepreneur. Means one who runs the organization, establishes or runs the organization. So there were many administrative hurdles. People were not allowed just to start like that. Production was monitored by the government, and even all the rules were very strict. So these rules did not work because the government was suffering, the economy was suffering, as most of its expenses were done on the cost of this borrowing, for paying the interest, for subsidies in food, fuel, fertilizers, and for regarding many schemes to alleviate poverty, to provide education, for many other things. The money was stuck up everywhere and there was no hope. So during such period, the new policy of industries has changed the face of economy of India. So what is that policy? That policy is often referred to as LPG policy. What do we call it? LPG policy. L stands for liberalization, P stands for privatization, and G stands for globalization. So after this policy was implemented, there was tremendous change in the economy of our country. As you can see, the three names over here. Let's see what they are. Liberalization is a process under which the policies were made liberal. So the strict rules were made a bit liberal to encourage foreign trade as well as to encourage competition among the industries. So lack of competition was one of the reasons why there was low quality of things being manufactured. That was one of the problems earlier. So to solve that, liberalization was implemented, and privatization to invite foreign direct investments, to invite foreign people to put investments on businesses here. Privatization was done. This is to improve the quality of services. And globalization is expansion of economic activity across the national borders, so that there is some integration of economy, and there can be each and every country can be benefited by each other. So these are the three major ideas of this new policy. Based on this, it is also called LPG policy, as we were discussing. So everything has benefits and limitations always. So let's see what they are. So this policy has benefited us in increasing in GDP. So 1.1 GDP was 1.1% in 91, which rose to 7.5, and FDI, foreign direct investments, increased like anything. Earlier it was 408 crores, but it went to 106,693 crores. The third point you can see is increase in per capita income. Earlier it was 11,235 rupees, but later grown to 85,533 rupees. And the most important is reduction in unemployment. Unemployment earlier was 4.3%, but that has been reduced to 3.6%. These are some of the benefits we got because of LPG policy, new industrial policy. And the limitations were low growth of agricultural sector, and there was a threat from foreign competition. The local goods were not given much priority, not purchased, and there was adverse impact on environment. So pollution is one of the major issues. So air pollution, land pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, all these things, and increase in economic disparities. The skilled people were getting more and more opportunities, and there was always the gap was widening between the rich and poor. Rich were getting richer and poor were getting poorer. This is one of the major disadvantages, limitations. And let's analyze it in other dimension too. So while speaking about economy, we discuss the things, we analyze the things under three sectors. So earlier in 1972 and 73, agriculture sector was 41.4%, it was contributing, industries 22.8%, and services 35.8%. So you can see change in the service sector has improved a lot. So improvement in service sector means more employment, and more employment means more income and more development. But agricultural sector needs to be balanced too. So in 2011-12, you can see the industrial sector also started contributing more. So this is one way of trying to understand the things. And before closing the session, I would like to tell you one important thing. That is, gone are the days where students used to dream, I should study well, I should get a good job. This is the time for you all to turn into entrepreneurs, so that you can create employment instead of searching it. And some of the most important entrepreneur skills are organizational skills, leadership skills, communication skills, and many other things. So you need to try in this direction. Along with academics, I would suggest you all to concentrate on developing all other such social skills, entrepreneurial skills, so that you can tomorrow become a creator instead of becoming a person who is searching for a job. So I wish all the students, all the future entrepreneurs the very best. I wish you all the very best again. And now it's time for you to take project work. Trace out the industrial revolution in your own words. I repeat, trace out the industrial revolution in your own words. Second is, write an essay on industries in India. Write an essay on industries in India. Locate the major industries on the political map of India. Locate the major industries on the political map of India. with this I conclude. I thank Telangana Tribal Welfare Residential Organization Society and Telangana Social Welfare Residential Organization Residential Education Institute Society, our beloved Secretary Sir, Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar Garu, for providing such opportunity for us teachers to be with the students in this corona crisis. I thank TSAT people for their patient recording, and I thank all the viewers for being with me. I thank all my dear loving students for being with me. Thank you all. Thank you once again.